Good afternoon, everyone. Let me ask you a question. Do you struggle with being consistent in your business, actually getting your income producing activities done on a daily basis? This is Tammy from laptopexecutive.com, and today we're going to talk about the one tool that you need to be consistent in your business. But before we do that, let me know where you are tuning in from, whether you're watching the live stream or you're watching the replay. Let me know where you're popping in from in the comments below. Just write a little note as to where you're watching from. I'd love to pop back later and say hi. Excuse me. So, do you find yourself getting distracted by the things that pop up in the run of a day, out of the blue, simply getting distracted by whatever might happen in the run of the day? I know that I struggled with the same thing for a really long time. I had a vague idea of the things that I needed to get done in my business, but things just kind of got in the way or took over. They derailed me. I got caught up in emails, maybe reading them too long or responding to them when they could have waited for another time. Or a phone call came out of the blue and I stayed on there for longer than I should have, or perhaps just let it go to voicemail and responded at a later time. Or worse yet, spending too much time on Facebook. I'll just pop in, send a reply to this note or this post, and then all of a sudden 45 minutes has gone, and it's eaten into the time that I had dedicated to work. So if you suffer from the same thing, here's a wonderful tool that has helped me be more consistent in my business, and I know that it will help you. And that is creating a daily method of operation, and obviously committing to that daily method of operation. Now, some people just post the main things that they want to get done in their business when they're doing a daily method of operation, but I actually get into a lot of detail because I really want a lot of structure as to how my day is going to go. Obviously, sometimes things happen that are completely unavoidable, but I want to know that I'm in control of my time. So I use a very detailed calendar, and I post everything in there, and that's what I suggest that you do. So start a detailed calendar that includes everything that you need to get done in the run of the day and throughout the week. So here's how you create it. I just use an Excel sheet, and you're going to want to plot everything that you're responsible for getting done. Things that are completely unavoidable, you want to plot that sort of thing on there first. So if you have a full-time job or another part-time job that you have, you're obviously committed to, and you have to make sure that you have that time, you want to include that on there first. So plot that in there, include your commute time. Now, certainly during your commute time and your lunch break, you can add in things that you might want to get done while you're having those breaks or while you have that time to yourself. But just make sure that you plot all that time in there, because that is time. Commute time is still obviously time that's not free for you to be flexible with. So, but there are things that you can do while you're commuting. Next, you want to add in your family commitments. So if you have all the responsibilities that you're responsible for with your family, so if it's like making dinner, bringing your kids to school, going to events at your children's school, or sporting events, or things that you can't compromise on as a family, you want to plot those things in there as well. Taking them to the movies, or helping them with their homework, or anything and everything that you can think of that that you have to get done with regards to your family. And that includes your one-on-one time with them. You want to put that in there as well. Next, you want to add in your downtime. Now, some people I mean, when you're starting a business, you may find that you're a little more compromise. You can compromise a little more on that, but definitely we all need time to relax. So either plop in, an hour for just yourself to relax, have a glass of wine, go to the gym. Definitely you want to plot in your exercise time as well. However often you do that, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, plot that on your calendar as well. The next thing that you want to do, obviously, and that's the whole reason we're talking about this, is how to be more consistent with your business, is to put in your business activities. So whether you have an hour or 2 hours a day, you'd be surprised as to what you can accomplish in that hour or 2 hours a day that you have to spare if you really commit to making sure that you have the activities that you want to get done plotted onto your calendar. So make sure that you don't just have, okay, I'm going to work my business for an hour on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever day that might be, or every day. You want to put in exactly what you're going to do with that time. So if you're going to do a Facebook Live, you want to plot that in. If you're going to do them twice a week, Monday, Thursday, so make sure that you put that on your calendar. If you're going to do a blog post and you say, okay, I'm going to do one per week, and I'm going to set aside that to be on a Wednesday. So plot in blog post. The next is maybe you're going to email your list. So you put that in your detailed activities for your business. Great time to email your list is when you've done your blog post, because you can share it with them and then you already have the content that you want to get out to them. So plot that in there as well. And then, of course, very, very important, the things that actually make you money is reaching out to your customers and your prospects. So make sure that you have an idea, actually not an idea, you want to be very specific. Okay, during this time that I have set aside for my business, I want to reach out to 5 customers and 2 prospects. So make sure that you're not compromising on that time and what you need to get done, because that is the income producing activity. So make sure that you're plotting that in. And just like making dinner for your family or your family time or your work time, you want to make sure that you commit to that business time and that nothing apart from an emergency is going to come in and interrupt that. So you're committing to it just as you would something else that you can't compromise on, and you'll be surprised at what you can accomplish, as I said, if you really commit to making sure that that time is productive and is set aside and is firm. Then after the first week, you're going to want to analyze it. You want to look at it, see if you need more time for one activity, or you have put aside too much time for one activity that you no longer need. So then you can adjust it for the next week, and then it'll start getting fine-tuned, and you'll know exactly where you need to spend your time. So as I said, you can certainly plot in, if you've blocked out 8 hours for your full-time job, you can plot in, if you have an hour for lunch, maybe you don't want to do it every day, certainly, but maybe you pick 1 or 2 days a week where you're actually going to focus on doing something for your business during that lunch period. And then commit, as I said, commit to your daily method of operation. So does that make sense? Drop me a 1 in the comments if it makes sense, if you're following me. It's such an important tool. It's such a great tool. It's probably the most important tool that you can develop when you're starting to run and grow your business. So I hope it makes sense. As I said, drop me a 1 in the comments and let me know. A couple of other tips that are really, really important. Number 1, tell your family to not to interrupt you while you are working. Perhaps you can have a no compromise time, and maybe having a reward system, especially if your kids are really small, have a reward system in place that you can thank them for leaving you undisturbed, unless it's an emergency, of course. Turn off your phone or turn on the do not disturb. And I oftentimes turn on my do not disturb, and then phone calls from either favorites or emergencies can still come through. So turn that off so you're not getting texts and things like that will interrupt you. Because even a slight interruption to your time could offset you by a few minutes to get in as you're getting into a groove. So getting in and out, you can waste a lot of time with that. So turn that on, and then close down any unnecessary distractions. So again, Facebook being a big one. You see a post from a friend and you're like, oh, I'll just go in and quickly check that out, and all of a sudden you've lost some time there. So make sure that you turn off any unnecessary distractions. It'll be there when you're done. You can come back to it. And then same with email. You can return to those. That's the benefit of email. You can return an email at your leisure. So I hope these tips helped you today. It's Tammy from laptopexecutive.com, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Take care and have a fab day.